Are you coming to the train, led by a man who wants to break the chains? Establishment is terrified, they can't control his reign. Let's meet this year on the tram train. Are you coming to the train where brave men called out for a wall built by crane? Media is terrified, they can't control his reign. Let's meet this year on the tram train. Are you coming to the train where brave men called out the fools who lead in vain? Lobbyists are terrified, they can't control our reign. Let's meet this year on the tram train.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Wayne Campbell.
I'm Sheila Campbell.
And this is your morning drive with the driver's side. Sorry we're late, guys. Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah.
She's doing that with a grain of salt. Trust me.
And apparently,
go lay down.
Our generator needs gas. Go figure.
Well, that too. Yeah. Gas goes into that. Honey.
Yeah, we had
that's not electric.
Well, I realize that. But when you don't put gas in, there's nothing to operate this. So we're sorry. We'll apologize for the delay.
We're not sorry. We apologize because there's nothing sorry about us.
Well, I don't know.
I'm fired up this morning. I am. I'm fired up. I'm not happy.
He is a little.
I'm not happy. I'm tired.
He's happy, but
I'm tired of the crap.
He's just tired of.
Do we got a truck video?
We did. Well, we played that one.
Do we got any trucking news?
You know what?
What?
You just slow that roll.
Yes, ma'am. I'll go to comments. You want me to go to comments? Want to say good morning? Okay, let's go. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Susie, Keith, thank you. Tell Lena I said hi and I'm proud. His wife just got her CDL.
Awesome. Congratulations.
You know Lena from Lena's Talk?
I do. I do.
Lena just got her CDL. Congratulations, Lena. We are absolutely proud of you.
Congratulations.
It's not easy in today's industry. I hope you learned and as she goes over to the truck video that she's supposed to be looking for, I want to say is I hope you learned in a manual, and I hope you didn't have too much driver assistance, because I know these trucks these days and the way things are going, we're going towards autonomy, and well, look at the training. So I hope you were trained right, and I'm sure you were because you got Keith by your side. Your husband's your driver, so I know you're doing good. Daryl Martin, I forgot to get a hold of him yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
Daryl. Get it. Chad, John Freese, Bill Fetzer. I want to say a special thank you to Bill, because Bill's one of the reasons why I don't do rants anymore. He's the one where we're gonna have a rant or we're gonna have a show today. She does that shit on purpose. It screws me up. All right. Mike McPherson, we have a show today, pal. We got a show. Remember, so we have a show, so like and share. Okay? And 33 people and 8 likes. You guys are some stingy sons of bitches.
What?
Y'all don't need to be so greedy with the likes and the shares, okay? At least the likes. Come on, get it at least to 20. You got 36 people up in here.
And what is today?
Today's Talk to Me Tuesday.
Talk to Me Tuesday.
So what do we got going on in the news, honey?
So I think that we're having someone call in about 15 minutes, in about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think we got John Freese calling in today.
I think so.
We got a call in today.
We've been in contact back and forth, which is good because that's what Tuesday is about. It is about Talk to Me Tuesday, which means that we want to know what's going on with you. The topic that we're talking about today is
priorities.
Thank you.
Priorities.
Thank you.
It's time for this country to get their fucking priorities straight.
Right.
Seriously.
But before we go in there,
and not just self priorities either.
We're going to show you a little.
What do we got?
Fun clip. A little fun clip.
Oh shit!
Here's our truck one.
Seriously, driver? Come on.
Here's our truck one. That Trump one wasn't the truck one. This is our.
No, that was just our opener. That was the Trump train.
Yeah.
He's talking on the phone, having a conversation while he loads that red diesel. He's just talking, having a nice time. No big deal. Hey, I wonder if I'm ever going to get full. Yeah, that's nice.
Come on, That's funny.
Get it? Well, it is what it isn't. You know, I mean, I've made a few mistakes in my career as a driver. I've drug a few. I was nicknamed Fuel Pump for a little while.
Yeah.
My fuel line, we didn't have two pumps at the fuel island.
Yeah.
At Chalk Mountain in the oil field, so you had to throw it over. And I didn't realize my fuel, the pump line,
right,
for the hose got wrapped around the PTO exhaust. So I hung it back up, didn't pay attention. When I'm done, get out of here. I'm done for the day. Took off. I dragged that whole pump. They didn't have a breakaway. They didn't have a breakaway on the hose, so I took the whole pump. Lights went out. Everything went out. I looked behind me and I was, what the hell is that? Is that a refrigerator? How did I not hit that? It was the fuel pump. So I was nicknamed Fuel Pump.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, I knew you got a nickname out of it somewhere on there. He just drove off with the whole darn thing.
I don't know if he's talking to me or you. One of us is a dumbass, or somebody else. What up, dumbass?
Well, no, not what up, dumbass. What a dumbass. And that could be, I don't know. Well, sometimes we're all a little bit of a dumbass, I think. So, anyways, let's get on into, there wasn't a whole lot going on in the trucking news.
Gemma, stop.
However, it appears that a trucker has been arrested in Virginia for felony hit and run and brandishing. Here's the deal. Apparently, a driver was a little peeved at a Beacon car wash.
Truck wash, not car wash.
Sorry.
Beacon car
Okay.
wash.
Okay. Well, it's still okay.
It's the streak and Beacon.
Okay.
Gemma,
anyways,
stop. Lay down.
Got in an argument with someone else who was apparently, he felt was taking too long through the truck wash. Got in an argument with him, an altercation. He whips out a gun. Nothing happened as far as that. I think he was just kind of pissed, or kind of a thing. Goes back in his truck. A witness who saw the whole thing go down decided they were going to put their car in front of the semi to try to stop the driver from taking off. And until the cops got there, because they called the cops on there, and the driver decided just to go ahead with his truck and just move that vehicle right on out of the way and fled the scene, parked somewhere when the authorities caught up with them. So that is considered a hit and run, even though nothing seriously happened, and brandishing of a weapon. So now, from being upset about a truck wash, now the guy's looking at charges of
just don't be an idiot, guys. Just don't be an idiot. I mean, people get killed at fuel islands these days, stuff like that. What we're trying to say is be careful. Just be careful.
Well, that kind of goes into the priorities. I mean, what was your priority at that time? Was that truck wash really your priority at the time, that it was worth like flinging a gun around and shoving a car out of the way, that you couldn't wait to say your piece and be mad? People just can't control their tempers anymore.
I don't know. Like in the comments, I don't know what's going on. Damn, Wayne. Now we know where you get it came from. Now we know where get it came from. I don't know. Oh, get it came from.
Oh.
So, but no, it's true though. People have no patience today.
No,
they have no. We have the attention span of a gnat.
Right.
I swear to God, it's sad the way we're at today.
And people are quickly angry.
You know, I'm going to go to this, though, because people are angry. Okay, what do we have here? Let me see where we can go with this. All right. It's a great day today to be alive. I say that. I want to say thank you first, because the real quick before we jump into videos, thank you to all you guys that donated.
Yes.
Okay, can we show the thank you up real quick? My wife created this yesterday. Everybody that donated, thank you to the museum. Appreciate that. I seriously do. We appreciate it, guys. We were able to raise it like $500. Our goal was 1,000, but we did 500 for our first fundraiser ever, and it's because of you guys that we were able to do it, and we did raise $500. So that museum, we will contact them today, and I will probably be up there next week sometime. We got to be careful on the moves we make.
So back in the old days, you know, we used to send out little thank you cards and notes. So there you go.
There's your thank you. All right, so let's jump into today's show. Let's go here. Let's go here. Should we go to her first, or should we go to the sports first? Which one? You want to go to the other one first, and then we'll talk about this. It'll lead up into the sports.
Sure.
All right, let's go here.
clear that I know that there are protests still happening in
Yes.
major cities across the United States. I'm just not seeing the reporting on it that I
Right,
had
that's right.
for the first few weeks.
That's right. But they're not
now-
going to stop. They're not going to stop. And they're not, this is a movement, I'm telling you. They're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels. That this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should not.
It's okay. America is waking up.
So here's my problem with that. Here's
I'll
what
tell you
upset-
right now, America's waking up and they're starting to get their priorities straight, is what I want to say.
Well, I'm just upset at the fact that it sounds like our possibly future vice president is kind of encouraging.
The bullshit.
I'm sure she's going to say protesting or the movement to continue on, which I think, in my mind, I think that's wrong. I don't think she should be encouraging. I mean, but she says in there from her own words that
They're not going to
they're
stop.
not
We should
gonna
not.
stop, and they shouldn't stop, and we shouldn't stop.
Look.
So I'm not sure.
Look, do we need to say anything more? Seriously. I mean, come on. It's the bullshit.
It is.
Okay. And here's what I cannot stand mostly about it is I'm listening to NPR this morning.
Mhm.
Okay. He's heading to Kenosha. Our president that's got the hardest job in the world today is heading to Kenosha.
Right.
And the punk mayor, in my opinion, is a punk. Says, hey, we don't need you here. We don't want you here.
Yeah.
And then NPR says Trump's militia. Talking about the Patriots. Talking about
Right.
Americans standing up for what's right. Okay. You're not going to sit here and blame it on a president. Okay. These are the people that are getting sick and tired.
Are you coming to the train led by a man who wants to break the chain?
And what I want people to take notice here, look what's leading the train. Look what's leading that train.
Great video.
It's our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
It's our concrete cowboys. It's our knights of the highway. Right.
It is.
It's the purest love of all. For me, it's the trucking industry. And it's the good men and women that are within that industry that are the true-blooded Americans and that are the true heartbeat. Are leading.
Are you coming to the train led by a man who wants to break the chains?
Right. Led by a man who wants to break the chains. I'm tired of platforms blaming our president.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
I'm tired of the blame game.
Right.
I'm tired of us as Americans not waking up. But I'm proud to say, I want to say today that we are. And we're starting to align our priorities. Because I'll tell you this right now. I know this. I mean, seriously.
Live this morning from New York. Hey, good morning. Wake up.
Yes,
Wake up, wake
I can't
up.
hear anything.
Okay. This is your wake up call, Harry.
There's nothing.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
Don't worry, we are awoke.
Are you coming to the train?
Yes, I'm using it. I'm using the platform.
Yeah,
I'm getting it.
That's what they're there for.
But Sleepy Joe, the guy doesn't even know he's running for president. Seriously.
That's funny though.
What the fuck?
I don't know, but she had to go to break, and that's what I found amusing. She's like, "Oh, okay," and then she says at the very end, he's just meditating. She's trying to cover for him why he's out, and she takes him off, and you can still hear him in the background snoring as he's over there. He just straight falls asleep.
Seriously.
Which, and that there's questions about whether or not he's mentally and physically capable and able to, if he was elected to do the job. It is very stressful. Look at every single one of the presidents we have. Man, that job ages you. I don't care who you are, it ages you. And I understand that. I mean, that's a 24/7 job. And what they have to go through, what presidents have to go through. I get that. So the concern is that 80 years old, is he mentally and physically able to do that and keep up with
He doesn't know he's running.
Right. Well,
he's voting for Trump.
And that, what? Oh.
He said we got to vote Trump 2020.
No, reelect. It was, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Foundation of our civic life. And yet all of a sudden, Joe Biden could never say this out loud. His voters have destroyed cities across the country and murdered dozens of Americans. He must stay silent about that. But Donald Trump doesn't have to, and so he said it. And as a result, for the first time since the Wuhan coronavirus arrived here, the president seemed likely to win re-election. Democrats are watching carefully. They know this. They can smell something has changed. They know why. Normal people hate the violence they have unleashed. And that's why this week, finally, after months, Joe Biden issued a tepid statement gently scolding the rioters. But it's too late for that. This has gone on for too long. Joe Biden's voters no longer listen to him. Last night, as the president spoke, a group of Biden voters gathered outside the White House to threaten and intimidate anyone who dares support Donald Trump. They waited to ambush attendees as they came out of the convention. The mayor of Washington, an incompetent hack called Muriel.
All right, let's go to 44. So, right.
Yeah.
You see this?
Yeah.
I mean, I like what Keith said because it's leading me right to it. Keith Becker says, I give 3 months and the Democrats will remove their own president to put in Kamala, whatever her name is, Harris, on the grounds that Joe Biden has dementia and is incompetent.
Well, and right. And
here we go. The manipulation,
right.
Right. And the thing, go ahead, honey.
And that's what they were saying is, and a lot of the theories is that they actually wanted Kamala in there originally, but she didn't have enough of the support to take it on her own. So let's put Joe in there, who's been in politics for 50 years, who has a following. People know who he is from President Obama, that he would have much more of a following and a backing than she would. Now, that's just rumors of what I've read and heard on there, but it's very plausible. I mean, it could be very plausible. It seems that way because I'm just not sure if
I don't trust the government.
I
don't trust the government. I don't trust it.
If he's actually fit for it. I mean, I'm not trying to be an ass about it, but seriously, I'm not really quite sure if he's.
Well, Daryl Martin agrees, and I think a lot of people agree. It's a ploy. It's a ploy. Right. I mean, come on. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It is funny.
I don't know if I sent that to you, the Biden parade.
No, and we'll save some of those funny ones for Hump Day Tuesday tomorrow. We start getting a little lighter, you guys, as the week goes by. First couple days are kind of serious. Then we get into Hump Day, and it'll be evening out, and then we're like, free flow, feel good Friday. Okay, so that's how that's gonna work. Yeah,
it is. It's because I wake up in the morning, I'm pissed.
Sometimes
we almost didn't have a show today.
Well.
Yeah, F Biden, Trump 2020, 4 more years all the way.
Right.
Get it. All I know is here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this. You can see the difference. You can go out into this country. It's a landslide. It's a freaking landslide.
All right.
I mean, how many people are going out for Biden and just answer me this, drivers. How many trucks do you see with Biden?
Are you coming to the train led by a man who wants to break the chains?
Right. Right. It's a freaking landslide.
Right. And I think a lot of that has to do with priorities. It's not really looking like it doesn't seem that the Democrats have their priorities straight. They're taking a really long time as far as addressing any kind of the rioting that goes on. They take a long time addressing.
It's Democrat state. It's Democrat states.
Something
it's Democrat states. Okay, this is. I'm sorry, honey, to interrupt you, but Stevie Wonder can see what's going on. Stevie Wonder called me. He's like, Wayne, I can clearly see Trump in 2020, but do you see the rest that's going on?
Right.
They're Democratic states. They're Democrat states that are falling apart.
Right, and I know
and
that
letting this go
on.
on.
Side that was we were talking about as far as first responders, as far as priorities, as far as our essential people, which would include you drivers, that are you guys just aren't taking care of our first responders. I mean, here's what the media. Here's not. And John, thank you very much for sending this over because this is actually a really good picture. Is that they're not addressing it and they're not showing of what's really going on. And some of our first responders right here, you guys can see that. This is firefighters out of Kenosha.
I was gonna say it looks like Kenosha. I can just tell by the building.
Kenosha. This is after they were done fighting 37 fires last week. 37 fires that they had to put out.
I heard on NPR this morning, and the woman said it great. Okay, she's all for peaceful protesting. She's all for it. She went out shopping for her first time in Kenosha. They're already starting to rebuild. But she was being interviewed, and she says, I'm all for the peaceful protest. But when I'm watching a news broadcaster talking about a peaceful protest with a building burning behind him and people running back, that's far from a peaceful protest.
Right.
Far from it.
Right. And the priorities are just really screwed up right now. I mean, they're not taking into consideration our teachers who are suffering, the medical staff who are out there, for you drivers who are out there, and this was what we were talking about there. They highlight and these athletes who get paid exorbitant amounts of money,
multi-millions.
Right. And
not just on the sports, but also endorsements. Sorry.
And
been there, done that.
Right. And encouraging some of these activities that are going on, as I guess is how I want to say.
Okay. I'm tired of them jumping on the bandwagon.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. And that's what I was going to say. The priorities are screwed up. You guys should be paid, if it's by the mile, okay, by the hour, by the mile, it doesn't matter. Way more money. Way more money. The first responders who are putting their lives at
risk.
What are they doing? They're saying let's defund the police and take away their jobs and not have as many out there. The teachers who are struggling through this. These are all people who should be. That's where the priorities lie, and that's where it needs to be. It's not on these athletes who make trillions of dollars.
Well, should we let her say it?
Yeah.
Do you want to run her real quick? Mm-hmm. All right, I got it, babe.
Obviously, LeBron James has a whole lot to say right now about white privilege, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows that there was a time where he had a police escort take him on the opposite side of the road to bypass traffic because he was late for a concert. What privilege is that, though? Is it LeBron privilege, Black Lives Matter privilege, black privilege? Where does that fall?
Light police escort on the wrong side of the street. Right. Headed to the big homie concert, JT. Holla.
Holla right across your face. Let me see which one of this.
He admits that when he first got to St. Vincent St. Mary, he had no intention of befriending his white classmates.
Like when I first went to the 9th grade in the high school, I was on some I'm not white people, right? Like, cause
I hope and pray that you get put in your place, LeBron. You're a punk. You're a freaking punk. Because before you start looking outside your league about problems within the world, you might just want to take a look right in your backyard. It's called the NBA, the NFL, all of it. How do they treat women? How do they treat people? Seriously, don't try to play me, punk, because been there, done that. Been part of an NBA championship team before you were even in the fucking league. All right? Yes, drivers are everywhere. All right, even in your NBA, we're everywhere. My point being is, before you start running your little trap, little privileged boy. Well, let me not say boy because he might use that against me. Young punk. All right? Get your priorities straight. Look in your league. Clean your league up before you think you can go clean up the world, pal. Taking a knee.
Right.
The only knee you need to take for is me. Get it? Pal. Don't piss me off. Don't. Because I'm tired of these athletes coming out here because I've worked for a freaking athlete. Built all his cars. West Coast Customs, you're welcome, people. Point being is the shit that's allowed just within your fucking league. Seriously, you punk. Shut the hell up. You have no leg to stand on.
No, we want to leave Daryl's up there.
Okay, sorry. You have no leg to stand on when you're literally running around with people that violate and that just don't care, respect women, an inkling of anything. They don't respect. Look, and it's not all NBA players. It's not all athletes because there's some really good athletes out there that do really good things for the community. But I'll tell you this, the ones that slut around, whore around, and have women on payroll in cities and that are married are the scumbags. Know it firsthand. And you know what? The funny thing is you can't censor that because that's my story. That's my truth. Firsthand. Don't. Google me. Just Google me. Please. But this is my problem. It's not priorities. These athletes, they come in and they use their platform for their agenda.
Right, for
their agenda. They can care less about the fan. They really can care less about the fan.
Right.
Because now what pisses me off on top of that is they've taken the NBA, now they've taken arenas and turned them into voting centers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how we're
so tired. Sports is a joke. I saw a commercial that me and my friend were virtual fans. You're an idiot. As you and your friend are, because how much did you pay for that package?
But think about, because of their notoriety, how many people follow of what they say.
My point being, and I'm going to show you this clip right here.
The priority is screwed up.
Right.
Who we actually follow and who we idolize and who we want to be like. And
I idolize nobody but you. Don't get me started.
And especially children, okay? And that's where the priorities get screwed up.
They have power. Okay.
Right.
They have
I
power.
still want to go back to Daryl's because this was a great comment on there, and he's talking about as far as the
get worked up. My dog gets this uncomfortable. This is why I need to calm down.
Daryl Martin says Obama gave phones to potential voters. Why do military personnel have to pay for phone service?
Right.
Good question.
Right.
Why?
I don't know.
They don't normally in the very beginning stages until they make their ranks up. They don't make a whole lot of money. They get benefits and there's perks and blah, 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 so on and so forth. That's not what I'm saying. But they don't actually get hazard pay, nor do you guys, okay, during these times. They don't get extra pay until they're actually in war. And then they get hazard pay or military or war pay, I guess is what it's called. You guys are out there amongst this. And this is what we were talking with John. Had he called? Because I told him to call.
I'm sure he did, but I'll call him if I have to here in a minute.
This is what we were talking with John Freese about as far as priorities. That
here's
you guys aren't making the money or being taken care of during the time being out there the entire time for COVID, and that, or now with all these riots that are going on.
I made a post right as COVID hit before the riots. Okay, I made a post. Drivers deserve hazard pay.
Right.
Okay, because here's my thing. And all the people that, just do your fucking job. Blah, blah. I get that. Do your job. Right. But my point is we're at war, right? For our health.
Right.
We're at war for our health. So why are these people not being compensated going into these hotbeds?
Right.
We pay our military extra money to go in and fight. Well, right, but we're at war with our health on our own soil. Now we got these riots on top of that these drivers are going into these areas. That's the part that bothers me, is why are these drivers not being taken care of properly? Why is it that this clown
admits that when he first got to St. Vincent St. Mary, he had no
gets paid the money that he does, when I think this guy should actually get paid what LeBron James does?
He's talking on the phone, having a conversation while he loads that red diesel. He's just
even though he's overloading his truck and diesel's going everywhere. Been there, done that. But like I said, I heard the fuel pump on. My point being is, this is the heartbeat of America. Okay, you got, and then you got our grocers. Then you got our nurses, doctors. They make enough. Okay, I'm not going to get into all that.
Right.
But what I want to get into is the core of America. Why are they not being paid millions of dollars? Why is Daryl Martin not being paid what he's worth? He might feel he is, but I don't. No. $250,000 a year. Our drivers should make $250,000 a year. Period. Because look what they make off the products they deliver. Look what they make off the events that they throw just because the drivers delivered the stuff. Period. And let's start let's start taking care of the people that actually deserve it. I don't feel driven about it. I don't feel it deserves millions of dollars. And I don't feel that people should have the power that they have just because they're an athlete or because they have a lot of followers on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook.
Well, I think our priorities as far as the economy is kind of just screwed up as it anyways. I mean, you know that is. I think the minimum wage is ridiculous. I don't think it's really been adjusted to compensate for any kind of inflation or current living expenses. When I bartended, obviously I made other income, and the majority of my income, 3/4 of my income, was not the actual hourly wage that I made because that was minimum wage, which sucked. Okay, after taxes and everything else, I think I got like $100 after the paycheck in 2 weeks time. So my income was the tips, which I always appreciated. However, there were other people that I worked with who like cooks. Let me tell you, they don't make jack diddly ding dong. Okay, most of the places start them off barely above minimum wage. And it's ridiculous. Okay. I mean, I would literally see their paychecks because a lot of them they were allowed to cash it at the bar. So I saw a lot of the checks, not because I was being snoopy, because they'd hand it to me to cash for them so they can go deposit and do what they needed to do. And in 2 weeks period of time, no. And those guys busted their butt. I'm talking the washing, the cleaning, the cooking, the prepping that they had to do. And I'm talking about
the grueling work. It's all the way
Right.
down to that dishwasher.
Right.
But it's all the way down to that dryer too. It's in multiple fields. But I want to talk about what she says.
Yeah, go ahead.
Read it.
Okay. Deborah Coggins says, when people are attacked for having a different political opinion or religious belief in America, we have serious problems.
Yeah. Right. We do.
Right.
And we have serious issues with our priorities. It's because we're putting us before anything.
Right.
And what we believe in. And I just go, babe. I mean, because I am so squirreled right now. I'm heated because I'm gonna play this young man. Okay? Because he has a difference of opinion.
Take that out so we can put the phone number. Guys, I'm going to put the phone number down at the bottom. If any of you would like to call in right now, we were expecting someone to call us and join us today, and that's okay. We get it. You know,
so here's my point with these platforms and the power that this kid has 2 million followers. And granted, he shouldn't have been put through what he was put through, in all honesty, but I want to play this for you.
Hey guys, I'm in Ohio right now. I stayed in a hotel last night, and this morning I was supposed to be changing out someone's water heater. So while I'm draining his water heater and trying to disconnect the pipes, he's talking to me real political. And all I'm thinking is like, why are you talking to me political? I'm your repairman. So I'm just trying to hurry up and just get out of there. And he tells me, I hope you know when the election comes, there's going to be a war. And it's going to be like a purge on the streets. And he said, I'm going to be the first one out there, and I'm going to kill all N-word, all Mexicans, everybody until they're all gone. He said he's sick of all this bullshit. He said Canada needs to be the 51st state of America, and he said we need to kill everyone in Mexico and get rid of them. My boss told me never go back there. I filed a police report, and I took his water heater and put it in my van. I was supposed to grab one from Home Depot, but nah, bro. You're a racist fuck. Now I got your water heater in the back, and you got no water heater now. So I hope you figure that out, bro.
Damn, bro.
Guys, we have Canada be the 51st
But
state.
he's got 2 million followers. 2 million people follow that young man. And look, dude, we got racism in the world. But you did steal his water heater on top of that.
Right.
2 wrongs don't make a right. Priorities.
Well,
2 wrongs do not make a right. He felt it was his duty to steal his water heater, and it was okay.
Or not install it.
Or not install it because of the man's beliefs. Okay,
because he was being attacked politically of the man's
I understand that,
view.
but I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, the man has a right to believe what he wants and feel what he wants and say what he wants. What?
Is that mine?
No, yes.
Sorry, I had to find my tea. And I agree with you on that. Sorry, I didn't mean to squirrel you or in.
Well, no, you just left me hanging. You're more worried about your teeth than the show.
What? Really?
No, my point being is, I can't stand the fact that kid went through that. I can't stand the fact that that's still alive in our world.
Right, but a lot of people
still easy to breathe. Okay, and a lot of people are going through it. But my point being is, does the guy not have that right? And he called for a service. So have we gotten so far to where if I work for a company and I don't feel that, well, you worship Satan. I'm not giving you heat this year. I'm not giving you water. I'm not giving you hot water because you worship Satan.
Well, and depending on how aggressive it was, if he felt threatened or attacked in any kind of way,
wait.
He shouldn't have to
I'm talking about in general, honey. I'm not to say this specific person. You're taking it, and she'll analyze that situation completely, and it will work against me. And she'll stand for my point being is, regardless, people are entitled to the way they feel, what they think, and what they believe. When you provide a service and you're hired, you're not supposed to allow that to interfere. It's a professionalism, just like a truck driver. They're delivering to these cities, is my point, that are rioting, killing, yanking drivers out, but they still deliver because it's their job. Like you told me, it's my job. Right. Point being is that kid has 2 million followers. 2 million. And that's what he's telling his audience. So what does that do?
Well, but okay. I don't know what that does, but here's my point on that. I know what that does, but here's my point on that. I think that everyone has a right to their opinion and to their beliefs, whatever it may be. And go ahead and voice what your opinion is and what your beliefs are. That's great. But if I don't see your opinion or your views or your beliefs the exact same way as you do not have the right to come at me and attack me to try to convince me and tell me what yours is and that mine is wrong because I disagree with yours. And that's where the priorities lie, and that's where it's screwed up.
Daryl Martin feels the same way.
Right. Everyone is trying to push their opinions, thoughts, and beliefs onto the other person who does not believe it to be that way. Okay? So I may not feel that way, and that's fine. I don't care if that other person feels differently than I do, but I'm not going to push my beliefs and my views and opinions to convince them that they are wrong. They are entitled to that. They are allowed to have it. And that's what makes us who we are. And this is where priorities are screwed up as well.
I agree. All right, let me try calling John.
So in the instance of that kid, obviously, he felt that this man was being very aggressive with it, and that it was like, dude, I'm just the repairman. I'm just here, whatever. You think that, people are going to be killed in the streets as far as the purge and everyone's going to go out there? Who knows? But as far as Kamala Harris, she's out there almost promoting the darn thing, which is ridiculous in my mind. And that could be our future vice president / president. Who knows at this point, okay? I mean, Biden could win. We don't really know yet. We don't see a lot of
Did you just say Biden could win? What the fuck are you smoking?
Listen,
I want some.
You no one thought President Trump was going to win.
Yeah, but this is how many Biden flags do you see?
It doesn't even matter. Nobody thought that President Trump, we've always seen.
I know golf carts are out there parading around town for Biden. Golf carts. Okay, not these guys. All right, where are my brothers and sisters? They're leading the church.
Are you coming to the train led by a man who wants to break the chains?
I'm not seeing truckers hooking up Biden flags and getting it.
No, most of
right. Truckers for Trump. Get that shit. Let's bring in John.
Yeah.
Let's bring in John. We got a guest. We got a caller. Let's go ahead and bring him. I don't know why my phone wasn't ringing. I don't know why it wasn't ringing. Good morning, John. How are you? John, you there?
Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, John. How are you today? Where are you at? Where are you calling from?
I'm at home in Pippin, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
And, just relaxing.
So you called me yesterday, John, and you wanted to know what was it you called me about yesterday? What was it that you came across? You said something to me yesterday, and we were talking about it actually at the time.
Well, it's the fact that we were talking about that one video you just put up there that you guys liked there about how we don't get taken care of or whatever. My thought is some of us are getting paid extra, but it's probably not enough for what we're dealing with. The other part that I'm having an issue with is trying to get in to see a doctor.
Right.
Unless we have an emergency, go in through the emergency side, we can't get seen. We can't even get a doctor's appointment. We're being put out there 3 weeks, if not longer. Same thing going with glasses or hearing aids or anything like that. We are not becoming our priority. And we didn't create this bottleneck problem as drivers, but myself, my eyes are starting to feel like they're failing. I need to get in and get a new prescription. I know that I need to have another exam, but I can't get in and get it done.
Right.
And I guess the simple things is we would just like to be able to be listened to and taken care of because we are the backbone of this country.
The heartbeat, more than the backbone. You're the heartbeat and the backbone. And that's what I'm saying. And that's where I'm at. And I think a lot of drivers are in the same place, honey. I know you get it, but until you're in it, you don't understand it completely. The fact of the matter is drivers have been pushed to the side and they're the heartbeat of America. When are they going to be the priority? When are they going to come first? Because we make sure you conveniently get everything you freaking want. Okay, from holidays to games to concerts to this to that, all the way down to your stupid little iPhone that you're watching us on. Point being is when are they going to be put at the forefront?
Right.
Okay, they are, for me, in my heart, they're no different from my military. I love them just as much, and I have just as much respect for them because they are everything to us.
Or first responders.
Right.
These are people that we count on. We count on you drivers.
So why, I want to say John's company's actually taking care of it. John, has your company done anything for you in this process?
Our company has given us every 2 weeks a $200 hazardous pay. They treat us with a lot of respect, our company. I've never worked for a finer company that really looks out and takes care of the drivers. We get paid for sitting time. If our load's not ready, we usually know before we even get to our delivery to make a delivery out at the West Coast what we're picking up. And if they just happen to be slow getting it on, or the customer, the shipper, so on and so forth, we get paid extra for sitting a day. Even if it's a half a day, we still get a full day's sitting time. Some companies are taking care of their drivers. Other companies, I think they feel like they don't need to do anything for them. But that is where I believe it's wrong,
Right. I think that your company is kind of in the minority of doing that. It doesn't, because from what I hear and understand, it doesn't. I haven't heard that a lot of companies have done that or do that. It's very rare, and that's so awesome that your company does that and appreciates the drivers, and they realize that it's you guys that actually make their business to take care of the drivers.
Well, It's like my dad taught me when I was younger, and I go back to my father and how he raised me and how I was taught. He said, son, okay, we're going on location. So this is what I do for my guys. And you remember this, because remember, son, you're only as good as your soldiers make you look. So you make sure you take care of your soldiers. So if we go out on location and we're shooting a movie and we're set on a set for more than 3 days or 2 days, he'll rotate drivers out. He'll have a skeleton, he called it a skeleton crew. That's what I learned about a skeleton crew. He would have a skeleton crew, and every driver would get a day off with pay and get to relax and get to hang out at the hotel and enjoy themselves at one point. But it was my dad that made sure that happened. It wasn't the company.
Right.
It was my dad that was in charge of transportation for that in charge of the drivers for that movie, but he made sure his drivers got taken care of. Because if his drivers weren't happy, the rest of the crew wasn't happy.
Right.
So it's companies like John's that are still doing what's right for the individual, for the employee.
Well, and that was the point, Wayne. I had to ask him what the bonus pay was about, because they just turned around and gave it to us without even telling us that we were going to be getting a bonus pay, And I go,
payroll made a mistake.
That's awesome. That was a surprise. And what a pleasant surprise I'm sure that was. Hey, anytime there's extra money in a paycheck, yay.
Right?
Yeah. That's awesome that they realize that you're a priority, but we're talking about most of them don't. And the priorities of most people in our times right now is that they're not, the priorities are screwed up. They're not taking care of you drivers. They're not realizing the situation with our first responders, our military, the ones who actually take care of us and keep this country alive and going.
And so real quick, John, we're not going to keep you too long, but I want to ask you this. You're happy with where you're at. And I can tell, and I can see that. And it's obvious because the company's taking care of you. You got a great company, good job. So with that being said, how do you feel about today's industry with the training within today's industry?
Well, the training in today's industry is not like the training we used to get back in the 70s when I first started driving truck. I worked for a company back then, or went to a school, which was pretty awesome. They were one of the first schools in the industry that had created truck driving school that was not paid by the government.
Ooh,
in other words, the government hadn't even gotten involved at that point in time. When the government got involved is when this all started falling apart as far as the quality of training that was being given to the drivers.
Right.
And what I mean by that is the company I worked for at that time or went to school for, it didn't cost us anything for the training. We had to pay for a motel in our room, and it was a 6 weeks long course. But it was in the truck, it was in the classroom every day for 6 weeks. And they were 10-hour days. What we learned in that classroom was the old school trucking. Then we spent the next year as a second seat driver.
Second seat, right.
Learning from the old school, which is where you learn a lot of what you were taught in class. You picked up and was reinforced by the old truck drivers.
Right.
None of these people that have been training only for a month or 2 months and only been driving for 3, 4, 6 months at a time are now training the young people today. And that's where I'm saying it's wrong. It should be a minimum of at least a 10-year veteran training another driver.
Get it. John, I want to thank you. I cannot thank you enough because you really hit some good key points right there. And the fact is I'm trying. The reason why I asked you that is because I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to go to here, and we're going to talk about some more things. John, I want to tell you thank you for stopping by, and to also check out John's group, Truckers Heart of Gold. Right, John?
Yep.
You have a Facebook group called Truckers Heart of Gold. What's that about? Real quick.
Well, it was about playing it forwards. It was about the stories that you never hear that truck drivers do to help other people. And it's just the old school teaching of going out there, doing it, and then you never hear about it because nobody talks about it. Nobody's said anything about it. And most of the time, we drivers disappear into the woodwork and have been forgotten about it. But it's just nice to be able to tell people this is what we do. So other people know how to pay it forwards.
The one thing that I think
I do this every day, every week. I can tell you that when I'm on the road, it's like running by a truck the other day. I see sparks underneath the tires. I knew it was the rear axle, and I had to literally pull the guy over, pull past him, honk the horn, and then pull over the shoulder road to get him to stop because he had no CV.
Right.
And we slid underneath it. He had a brake dust cover come off, and it was sitting
So, John, with that being said, I want to tell you thank you, and I want you to reach out to Daryl Martin, okay? Daryl Martin's an old school cat. He loves old school trucking. He used to have a breakfast with old school drivers and stuff like that. You guys might be have a good few good stories. And then eventually, what the driver side wants to do is we want to create podcasts where you guys just log in and start podcasting.
Yeah.
It's coming eventually later on down the line. But it's important that men like John and men that have been, and women that have been in this industry and want to give it away the right way. And that's what I love the most. John, I want to thank you for stopping by the driver's side. We appreciate you. Remember, you're the heartbeat of America, and you should be treated that way. Have a great day, John.
You too.
Bye. The reason why I mentioned training to John.
See how easy that was, too? Just call in if you don't want to be on the show.
And hopefully it sounded good. But, Victoria says John is inspirational, straightforward, old school. Like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But I want to go back up. And unfortunately, she had to go because she has a meeting today.
Yeah,
she says Susie had to go. But I wanted to touch on this because I saw a commercial yesterday. And it's by the mighty midget himself. I call him the mighty midget.
Okay.
It was about autonomy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, are you going to believe it? When are you going to believe it? The driving lane, this and that, this and that. What I want to ask you, drivers, is how is today's training within the industry? John said it himself. He had to stop that drive him to side, and actually literally almost pull his truck over for him because he didn't have CB and wasn't paying attention. But if it was autonomous, it would know that something's wrong.
Right.
And it would pull over itself. My point being is, with today's training, are they going to be able to use that as a tool to push autonomy on top of the health crisis? That's my worry. I want to attack autonomy. I have attacked autonomy. And it's coming. It's here. It's the only thing stopping it is regulations. But what the person said in the commercial yesterday was, it's going to, 300,000 people are going to lose their jobs. Are you not living in America? Not just have more has lost their jobs today and are flooding into your industry, because I've been contacted by many stagehands on what trucking school to go to, junior college. But what I'm trying to say is, the country is falling apart.
Because our priorities are screwed up.
Because our priorities. If you think autonomy is the priority you need to go after in the trucking, you need to go after the training. Because if they take the new driver, the newbies, and put it up on a page and say, oh, yeah, these guys aren't safe, they're going to win. They are going to win with autonomy.
And the autonomy here, that's a really, really hard battle to fight. Not that it
And
it can't
real
be
quick,
done,
because you taught me this. Because us drivers, we know from experience. We know it's not safe. Well, my wife stops and says to me, she says, honey, I know that. You know that. But the fact of the matter is, they're paying a team of people millions of dollars to collect data to say that it does work. And us drivers that come out here and we want to run our mouths that it's not going to work, just like the ELOC. The fact is, we're not collecting data. We do not have the money they have that they're collecting to favor them.
Right.
We do not have the money or the machinery that's saying that it doesn't work to favor us. We have the experience, and that's it. And the experienced drivers are going away faster, and faster every day. The quality drivers are going. They're pushing you out. And it's exactly what they want to do. So they can push this agenda right here.
Right.
Autonomy.
Right. And even Chow is backing it. How long she's going to be there for, who knows? But we even have, our government who's backing for the autonomy to come out. So that's a huge battle. Not that it can't be won. I'm just saying, I just don't see it being stopped. I just don't. It seems that too many investors and big money and the government is all for it. So...
And I'm sorry that if anybody felt that I was pushing for the old man with a young kid, that's not the case here. What I was just saying, that there's a constitutional right called freedom of speech.
Right.
Is what I'm saying there. Because me, if I was the kid, I would have choked that old man. I would have beat his ass. I'd be in jail. I would. Because I don't like hate.
So my question is.
But real quick, Phil Tristan, and Phil's one of my favorite people. Right. I don't even know the guy. But he's one of my favorite people because he sends me a picture of his coffee. I'm ready for the driver's side. Sorry we were late this morning. But he says, Phil Tristan says, Wayne, my mom and dad are from Mexico. If someone would say that to me, I would get up and leave and not do the job. Agreed. I probably would have done the same thing. But what I'm trying to say here is these people, okay, their priorities are screwed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of
the old man that was his priorities are fucked off. Okay, he's not there.
Right.
We live in a new age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Point being is where are we going? Where is this world going to? I don't know where my wife is.
I'm reading a comment. Go ahead.
But is where are we? Do we have our priorities straight? Or is it time for America to actually wake up, get their priorities straight then or now? Where are we at? I want to know because I'm angry. And that's all I find myself anymore is angry, and I want to attack. I want to attack.
And I think general consensus from you guys right now is from what I'm reading on the comments is that you would do exactly the same thing as the kid. Is that you wouldn't do the job. Here, I'll go to Sharon's. Can I go to Sharon's?
Go ahead.
Before we go to
I'll go
Mike's?
back to Mike's here in a second. Good morning, Mike. Appreciate you, brother.
Okay. Sharon says, problem is.
Okay, Daryl. He's trying to call. I just must not have my ringer on. Sorry, go ahead. Read your comment.
Sharon Sykes says, problem is you can't trust or turn your back. You may be attacked. The kid was doing his job. Didn't want to talk about politics. If I was put in that position, I would take it as a threat and be scared to continue the job. The man seemed like he was getting himself worked up by his own words. What actions could have happened if he remained there? Exactly. And that's how at least that's how I interpreted it too.
I'm doing
from,
good, Daryl. You're
from
getting a lot of
his
static.
From his post that he did was that he kind of felt intimidated.
Right,
it was like, dude, I'm just a repairman.
Oh.
And that he was kind of feeling intimidated and threatened by the way that he was talking about it and people purging it in the street and that Canada should be the 51st state, which is ridiculous. But and that people should be wiped out.
Hold on, Daryl.
Yeah. I would have left too. I would have thinking, oh my, he's a little nut. Do we have someone on with us?
Yeah, we got Daryl Martin, but his connection's really bad. But Daryl, if you can hear me, what Daryl was just telling me right away in my ear is that he wants to get a hold of John because he wants these groups to unite.
Oh.
Daryl, I'll try calling you back. He's back up, but he's at his house up in the mountains. I want to say in Virginia, But Daryl, thank you for calling. John Freeze, thank you for calling. This is why we have Talk to Me Tuesdays.
Talk to Me Tuesdays.
It's about that. It's about us talking
down at the bottom.
and getting together. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. But what John or what Daryl was trying to say is that these Facebook groups need to unite, and they do. You guys need to. Differences start need to be put to the side. If someone doesn't like this, someone doesn't like that. Okay, period. Set it to the side because the trucking industry, like Mike McPherson says, and I'll go back to his comment. Where is he at? A
little further down then.
Oh, there it is. So Mike McPherson says, so without the proper professional training, our industry is looking like a shit show, and the good drivers in the industry get shit on because of the bad apples. They highlight the bad, not the good, just like in the world. Correct. Greg. Mm-hmm. And it's very easily, we could look at this and put this in perspective very easily just because of COVID-19. These are the unsung heroes. Remember? These are the unsung heroes, the Knights of the Highway that came to our rescue, like with the doctors and lawyers. Remember, people were out there, we love you, truck drivers.
Right.
And then 2 weeks later, you got a tanker going through, being pushed onto a highway that was supposed to be closed, but being yanked out and saying that he was running over protesters. Fuck you.
Which was so
with that
wrong.
Bullshit. Fuck
Man,
you
he
with
got
that
dragged out and beat and then taken to jail. It was like, what?
Daryl's in Pennsylvania.
That was ridiculous.
So, all right. So we got a connection here. 2 groups connecting. Daryl Martin. I think Daryl Martin has Old School Trucking, and John Freeze has Truckers Heart of Gold. Get it.
Nice.
And that's what we're here. That's why we're here. It's what we. That's what this platform is for.
Right.
Where we?
Yeah, we've hooked up drivers with drivers many times.
Watching from Texas. What part of Texas?
Hot Texas.
Get it. My daughter just left Texas. But I have to agree with Mike, though. I mean, Mike nailed it. Mike really nailed it. He really, really did. Because it's the lack of professionals within this industry that makes it look so bad. And then you get, and I want to say that's where your bad blood between the new school and old school come from. It's the lack of respect for the industry that these young newbies have.
I just think with all the like we were saying, I just think where the country is right now, I have never seen anything like this in my lifetime. I mean, I'm 50, so I haven't ever seen anything like this, and I do think that the priorities have gotten screwed up somewhere. I definitely think that things need to change. Things, and whether or not it's the red, the blue, and independent, whether it's all of us standing up together for what it is that's right. But I don't think that the priorities of some of the younger generation, I'm not going to say all, but I'm saying some of the younger generation, that their priorities are really screwed up.
What scares me the most is they trust computers. Okay, so when autonomy comes, they're going to embrace it. That's my problem. Is there's two things that are stopping autonomy. It's introduction to society, it being safe, and then also to displacement. I forgot what to say. Please read this comment because we're at the top of the hour. We got to let these people go. We got to wrap this up. Go ahead and read this because this lady killed it. Deborah, great comment.
Deborah Coggins says, infuriates me they give 600 extra unemployment a week on top of the full amount of unemployment benefit wages. People that work and risk their lives like truckers, police, etc., what do they get? Prices go up, but if you are on SS, you don't get an extra boost.
Not just that, is they also put self-checkouts and all this stuff within these stores and prices don't drop.
Right.
But their overhead does. Okay. Deborah, I really love your comment. Why? Because there's two sides to that. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, you're right. The people should have been compensated. These drivers should be compensated correctly.
Right.
Not disregarded and not drugged through the fucking mud.
Right.
That's what I'm tired of.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're the heartbeat of America, and they should be treated like the heartbeat of America. Period. I'm tired of the backbone and the heartbeat of America being walked all over. Remember, guys, you're everything to us, and we know that, and we appreciate you. You always have to keep your shine side up, rubber side down, and to make money in today's trucking industry, what do you got to do, babe?
Keep your left door.
Thank you, everybody, for all the comments. Thank you for all the call-ins. You guys, thank you so much, and here's your feel-good of the day.
Ha